Hello everybody, welcome to another deck profile. This time I'm profiling KOZMO, a deck that I started playing just to mess around with it, and I'm actually having a lot of success with it. If you're good at using the effects and knowing how to properly time things, the deck is actually very powerful. So yeah, before I go into the deck profile, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe at the end of the video if you did enjoy it, and if you want me to, if you want me to do more videos like this, and also feel free to just tab out the video because this is just a profile, there's no gameplay here, so yeah, it's just going to be me talking over some cards and all that good stuff. So yeah, without further ado, let's go right into deck profile followed by some explanation. So starting off with the main deck, I'm playing one KOZMO Dark Eclipser, one Dark Destroyer, two Forerunner, one Landwalker, three Slip Rider, then two KOZMO Dark Lady, one Wicked Witch, one Farm Girl, two Farm Girl, two Saw Troopers, three Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, two Strawman, and three Tin Can. And then that's the monster lineup. So 20 monsters and then three hand traps. Then for the spells, I'm playing three Lord of Darkness. A very good card. It's part of Greed here. Like if you have KOZMO Town, it's basically part of Greed. One Dark Hole, one Reasoning, one Upstart, one Monster Reborn, and one E-Telly. These cards all are these are just all like really solid cards. Like E-Telly is so versatile in this deck because if you have like a Dark Destroyer in hand or something, you can like on your opponent's turn E-Telly and then tag off with the Dark Destroyer. So E-Telly can be used in a variety of different ways. So it's a very powerful card. Three KOZMO Town, and that concludes these spells. So only 11 spells, but all these spells are basically draw spells, one of the best spells in the game, and then just like one-off, Saki, very power spells basically. Then for the trap lineup, I'm playing three Torrential Tribute, very good. Now it's at 3. I really like it in KOZMOs because all of these ships float, so you know it's just all good stuff, right? Then one KOZMO Joe in case we do have to remove something through other means like banishing, like if we have to remove something through non-targeting basically. And then two Collar Haunted. Collar Haunted is still pretty good. Like I wouldn't really play a 2, but I feel like I wouldn't play more than 2, but because like 3 sometimes you can draw this card in multiples and that really sucks, but at 2 you basically want to see it sometimes but not all the times. Now, for the extra deck is for the most part irrelevant. Like, the only things that really matter are, like, a few rank 3s, I believe. Yeah, because you are playing Farm Girl, Saw Troopers, and Ogre. So, like, a few rank 3s of your choice, like Nightmare Shark if you want to sack some games. And pretty much, like... just generic toolbox C cards like Break Sword, Levier is pretty good as like an extender. Zenmains is pretty good to sit on sometimes. But yeah, you don't even go through the extra deck that much. So I'll just go through it. I'm playing one Cyber End Dragon because if our Cyber Dragon Nova gets popped, we can bring out a Cyber End Dragon. Two Infinity along with two Cyber Dragon Nova because we do have... the Slip Riders, which are level 5, so we can use Slip Riders to go into Nova. Dark Lady is a Psychic, so we cannot use her, but we can use her for other things like Volcasaurus, Durendril, Greedy Surveyor, and Ardius, the Keeper of the Armageddon. So that's basically our rank 5 package. We don't even go into that much. Like, the deck honestly just doesn't go into the extra deck a whole lot. Then for the rank 3s, you know, Break Sword, Levier, and Zenmains. And then for the links, just a few links. Link Karibo is pretty okay because if we don't have like a ship, basically we can always just, if we don't have a ship in hand, we can use Tin Can. If Tin Can's effect gets negated somehow or something, like Effect Veiled or whatever, right? We can always just go into a Link Karibo. And the Clock Taker is pretty good, but still, like, a lot of the times, these are just in case you don't have ships to go into, or if those situations, but even then, the Clock Taker is pretty good generic link too, because it's able to reduce the opponent's monster as attack, and then Deco Talker just being a generic Link 3, but yeah, that's basically the main deck and extra deck. So, now, card explanations. KOZMO Dark Eclipses. So basically this card is able to negate trap cards, which is really good against things like Altergeist and other back row decks, just by banishing a KOZMO from the graveyard. So that's really, really nice. And also, if this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from the graveyard and add a level 8 or lower KOZMO. So basically, it doesn't float, it just adds, which is the only downside of this card. But even then, it's still really, really good. Playing the 1 KOZMO Dark Destroy because it's 1. I mean, this card is amazing. Being really big, popping something, and floating is just phenomenal. And then KOZMO Forerunner, the card that we always float into because it's also really big. Gives us life points during our standby phase, so we can then use the life points as a resource to trigger our other KOZMO monsters. So that's really, really good. And then it even floats as well. Playing 1 Landwalker, I'm still deciding like what I've got space for one of the ship. Landwalker is good because it's a dark, so I really like that. But I also want to try out Dogfighter because Dogfighter summons token, so that token can be used for a plethora of things. So I'm still deciding if I want to play Landwalker, if I want to play Dogfighter. Maybe cut down like the Dark Ladies and throw in like two Dogfighters perhaps. I'm still not sure because usually the lists at top, they always top with Dogfighter. Well, recently. So because with Dogfighter you can play the virus cards, right? You can play the virus cards. Things like where is it? Is it there is a virus card that you can use. Is it Deck Dev? Yeah, it's Deck Dev, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Deck Dev or Full Force. So, yeah, Dogfighter can be good. Yeah. It's Full Force because it has 2,400 defense. So, Dogfighter is the card that you play in, like, a Deck Dev situation. So, that's really, really cool. So, maybe, like, sides with, like, the virus cards for like, specific matchups. Just because they are still pretty good, but they're only good in specific matchups, right? But yeah, if you want to play the virus version of the deck, make sure to play Dogfighter and Full Force. So then I'm playing 3 Slip Rider. This card is really good because it pops back row. Really good against like Diagram. You can bring it out and pop Diagram. You can pop things like Floodgates, you know, like anti-spells and stuff. Those types of cards. And just this card is good at getting rid of them. And also because it's only like a level 5, sometimes you can even just tribute it, and you know, it's not the worst, sometimes just tributing a Slip Rider. Then playing KOZMO Dark Lady. I really like this guy just because it's negation. Like if an opponent's monster uses an effect, I can just pay 1,000 and negate it. And surprisingly, like I don't see a lot of people utilize this effect, but I've won a lot of games because of this effect, so very, very nice. Then playing the Wicked Witch. This is like almost like an auto win against Tricksters, just because like you summon this, pay 1,000, and it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So Tricksters are gonna have a really hard time getting over this. 2 Farm Girl. I feel like 1 Farm Girl isn't enough. Like I do like the second Farm Girl, but you can easily cut it down to 1. It's really up to you, but I do like the Farm Girl because when it deals battle damage, you can pay 500, add a KOZMO, and then it can be like Dark Destroyer, and then you can like tag out into the Dark Destroyer. So that's really, really cool. Playing 2 Sword Troopers. Sword Troopers, I really like it at 2 because Tin Can is like the best starter card in the deck, right? It gives you a KOZMO in the hand, sets up the graveyard, only costs 500 life points, and it's just you can even play 1 for 1, just to make it easier to bring it out. So what happens is that because like you use Tin Can's affecting in the end phase to reveal 3, add 1, and then the other ones are sent to the graveyard. So the problem is like if they are banished, you can easily have access to them with KOZMO, but if they are in the graveyard, you usually want your Sword Troopers to like bring them out. but you can only bring out a psychic from the graveyard. So with Tin Can, you can like pick like Dark Lady, Wicked Witch, and like a ship or something. So Sword Troopers is pretty good for that. Then playing the 3 hand traps, Ghost, Ogre, and Snow Rabbit. The deck thrives off just removal, of just like straight up removal. Like negation is pretty good, but just straight up removing cards is better. So for that reason, I'm playing the Ghost Ogre. Then playing the 2 Strawman. Strawman is really, really good. I really want to bump this guy up to 2 because I really like its effect, and also it just looks really funny. But because it's able to bring out a banished ship or a monster, and then it's destroyed during the end phase, so you can use it in like so many creative ways. I really love this card. And then the Tin Can. So you have like your C3PO, and then you have your R2D2. I think these guys are just like really, really cool. So, a lot of darkness. You do have a lot of good targets. You have Sword Trooper, Wicked Witch, Dark Lady, Destroyer, and Eclipser. So that's plenty of targets to make a lot of darkness worth running. And the reason why you play a lot of darkness is because whatever you banish, you can always just get it back with KOZMO Town. So basically, your Lord of Darkness becomes a part of greed. It goes from being like a minus, not a minus, it becomes from being like a 0 in card advantage to being a +1. So I really like that. Dark Hole is just really good in this deck because I would usually play Raigeki, but the Dark Hole is good going first or second because our ships float, right? So even if you have this in the hand, like KOZMOs are not that much of like a combo deck. They do have some nice combos, but they don't really need like combos. Usually like your first hand will be like Tin Can, KOZMO Town, and like 1 back row, and like a ship for Tin Can to tag out into. So yeah, I really like the Dark Hole in the main deck. Then the one reasoning, you have like levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So like your opponent is just not gonna call the right number, because usually they would even go for number 4, but you only have one level 4, right, which is Wicked Witch. So reasoning is very, very good. 1 Upside Goblin to just increase our consistency. This card is a 1, so just play it. 1 Monster Reborn because we can bring back whatever we sent to the graveyard with Tin Can. We can bring it back with Monster Reborn, like Dark Destroyers, Slip Riders, whatever, basically. Monster Reborn just a very versatile card. And 1 E-Telly, like I said, very, very versatile card, like especially using it on your opponent's turn. It's just phenomenal. Then the 3 KOZMO Town. This card is absolutely amazing. Like a field spell with 3 effects. It's just amazing. So, effect number 1, you can mulligan KOZMO monsters and then draw the same number. So like if you can shuffle 2 KOZMOs into the deck and then draw 2 new cards. So that's really, really good because you can draw into potentially better cards like power spells or whatever. Effect number 2, you can add a banished KOZMO and add it back to the hand and then lose life points equal to its original attack times 100. So basically, like, if it's a level 7, it's 700. So that's really easy. Quick maths. And then effect number 3, if this card on the field is destroyed by a card effect, you can add a KOZMO card from your hand. So sometimes you can use Slip Rider to destroy your KOZMO Town. So like you can use KOZMO Town's effect to add something that's banished and mulligan something once per turn. And then you can, like, on that same turn, go into a Slip Rider, pop the KOZMO Town, get a search, and then use the new KOZMO Town, like, that you have in the hand or that you just searched, and use both of its effects again to add something that is banished and to mulligan, because it's not hard once per turn, so that's really, really cool. Then 3 Torrential Tribute, really, really good trap card. Like, the deck can play some nice trap cards. I really like the TTs here. If you want to play a deck there, if you want to play a virus version of the deck, then feel free to side out the Torrential Tributes and replace them with Full Force Virus, and then replace the Landwalker, 1 Dark Lady, and 1 Farm Girl with Dogfighter, or just the 1 Landwalker and 1 Dark Lady with 2 Dogfighters. And yeah, you have like you can basically just completely switch the way you play the deck, and that's really, really good in the side deck. You can just if your opponent is expecting something, you just mix them up, and amazing. So they can't easily play around it. And then again, KOZMO Joe, pretty good, because you can destroy like a ship and then banish something. so pretty good. But it's only hard once per turn, so yeah. I still like it because it's searchable, but yeah, very good card. And then the Call It Haunted, you can do some nice plays with it. This card has been around for so long, and it does have some nice, it does have some good usage here, because you can even, like, let's say, bring back a Dark Destroyer pops something, if your opponent does something, TT, destroy the Dark Destroyer flows into Forerunner, and yeah, you can disrupt them, so very, very good. So yeah, let me just quickly check what time we're on. So we're on 15 minutes. I think I've been speaking enough about how great KOZMOs are. So yeah, again, once more, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and even subscribe if you want to, and if you like what I'm doing. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.